a good mood, y'all. I don't know. But hi, this is Saturn, and welcome back to another video where I talk about Legend of Zelda phenomena, and I also draw at the same time, and I am also spiraling. So before we start, I like to discuss what's on today's art menu. It's basically Link from Ocarina of Time, particularly adult Link. And one of the first temples that you do as an adult, or should say the first temple, is Forest Temple. So Link is in the Forest Temple, which you would probably imagine not knowing what to expect. It would just be like a really cool foresty temple, but it actually ends up being a very haunted temple. Very on brand for Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And Link, while there, goes through multiple rooms, finds keys, unlocks doors. So in this particular piece, he has a key and he's unlocking one of the doors, and behind him are the four Poes sisters, which are the four ghosts that are haunting the entire temple. Now you may see all this like hazy effect around me. Don't worry, it is not a Poe. It is just some incense that I'm burning. So Link has a key, he's opening a door, and behind him are the four Poes sisters that are haunting him. And it's kind of like unbeknownst to him, he does not know that he's being haunted as of yet, because at the beginning you know that their ghosts are there, but you probably don't even know that they're following you all over the place, especially behind the picture frames. So I kind of just wanted to recreate that kind of scene just to basically give you the vibes of the entire temple, which is what it was. It's haunted, lots of locked doors, you get chased by was it the handmaster? That big hand that just like falls and grabs you. There's just so much going on in that temple. It's very nerve-wracking. Also, you have the flame skulls that are chasing you around, called Blue Bubble. That is not a scary name. Like when you say like, oh, this monster is called a bubble, I would expect like, you know, just a bubble floating around, but it's just a skeleton, creepy skeleton that barks like a dog with flames all over it. Nintendo needs to explain this one actually. Why is there a skull with flames that barks like a dog called Bubbles? I have more questions than I'm having answers at this point when it comes to The Legend of Zelda. That really is what it is. So yeah, that temple, first temple as an adult, especially like when you're like playing The Legend of Zelda for the first time, because a lot of people, our first game was Ocarina of Time, and as soon as we become adult Link and we're thinking, oh, this is gonna be such a cool adventure, and as soon as you get to that temple and it's just like crazy work, everything is so scary, complex. Like even the Deku Babas, there's like giant Deku Babas chasing, well, it doesn't really chase you, but it kind of bites you, and you can't even walk past it, but you need to walk past it. Then there's the doors that just slams on top of you. Oh my god, I could just go on and on and on about that temple, and I think I might actually make videos on those temples, because what the heck, Nintendo? That's a lot of thoughts. But anyways, I'm in a good mood today, so let's get started with this video. So we know that Poes exists across multiple Legend of Zelda games throughout the entire series, right? And it's not really confirmed, but or maybe it is, but I think it's pretty obvious that the Poes are named after Edgar Allan Poe, and they are ghost-like creatures, and for the most part they're pretty unsettling. But if you do look at Poes across the entire Legend of Zelda series, it actually becomes more and more confusing, because you'll have some Poes that are used as transactions, and you'll know what I mean when we get to that part. But there's some Poes that are used as transactional items, or they're just like a transaction. There's some Poes that are used for collection purposes, like at least their souls. You have some Poes that are just there for mischief. You have some that are just flat out scary. And you have some that's just like these lost souls that are clearly angry and confused and just wandering around. And then you have some Poes that actually interacts with you in a positive way and provides you help. You see what I mean? Like there's just so much going on. So we're gonna start with the Poes from Ocarina of Time. In Ocarina of Time, when I first played the game, I thought that they were just vengeful spirits that whenever you got near them, they were, it's like as if you're invading their little territory. So they don't bother you until you walk near them, especially around the graveyard. And once they spot the fact that you're too close to them, then they come towards you and they kind of like try and hit you with their lantern. And then if you step back or far enough, they don't really bother you. So my interpretation at the time was you leave them alone, they leave you alone. You want to attack them, kill them, and get the spirits to give to the collector, then, or the merchant, then you're able to do that. But other than that, Poes usually typically leave you alone unless you're in their vicinity. And then there's also a bigger version of these Poes called the Big Poes, which you find them throughout the entire Hyrule field. Daytime, nighttime, doesn't matter, and they are usually just wandering around but really hard to catch. I feel like even though they're scary because they're the massive version of Poes, they are more skittish than regular Poes. Regular Poe from Ocarina of Time will attack you if you're too close. The Big Poes won't. They actually tend to run away from you, which makes it quite interesting because you would think because they're bigger they would be more, aggressive or something, but no, they just run from you and you have to go out of your way to catch them, kill them, grab their Big Poe spirit, and then you can give it to the merchant. Knowing how they can be, especially the ones in the graveyard and the Big Poes, you would think that they're just like evil spirits that are kind of restless, right? In case closed, that's it. Not exactly. In comes the Composer Brothers. The Composer Brothers are these two Poes that once you reach their grave and you present them with the royal song, they will actually kindly explain to you their song that they've composed, which is the song that allows you to go from night to day, day to night, and which is very helpful throughout the game. So I highly suggest that even though it's not mandatory to get their songs, I would highly suggest getting it. And yeah, so these are Poes. They're not evil like the other Poes are. They're actually, they don't even seem like they were not able to rest properly. I'm not too sure on the resting part, but there they are at their grave, ready to teach you a song. So now I'm thinking Poes are not evil anymore because the Poe brothers kind of, opened my eyes to that. Then you have Dampé. Now, if you remember in Ocarina of Time, Dampé appears in a couple of games, but particularly in Ocarina of Time, Dampé is working in the graveyard in Ocarina of Time when you are a child. And though he's not very happy with the kid walking around the graveyard and messing things around, he at the end of the day is a very nice guy and takes care of the graveyard like he's supposed to. But when you become adult Link, you find out that even though 7 years just passed, unfortunately Dampé passes away, and he is there in the graveyard as a ghost, and he will actually show you how to get to the hookshot. So Dampé himself, I would say, because he's dead and floating around, he's technically a Poe, right? He's a ghost. But he's very helpful, just like the Composer Brothers. He is there to assist you with getting an item that is so important that it actually gets through an entire temple, actually a couple temples. So this reinforces that Poes are not evil. Oh, and also, before I continue, he has a halo over his head and he has wings, which is a very interesting symbolic thing. Composer brothers were not evil ghosts, right? But they did not have the halo and the wings. But Dampé ended up having the halo and the wings, and you know, he's also a nice guy, and he helps you out to get items that you'll be needing later on in the quest. Now you have Kome and Kotake. Just like how we mentioned in the last video, they are two Gerudos that basically raised Ganondorf, and they're pretty much evil. Whatever Ganondorf wanted to do, they made sure that his plan came to fruition. So they have assisted him throughout the entirety of trying to capture Hyrule. Kome and Kotake, because they are evil, right? And you defeat them at some point in the game towards the end, because they're the final boss before the actual Ganon battle. Once you defeat Twin Rova and the two twins perish, you see them as ghosts as well, and they end up having the halo and the wings, which I think is Nintendo's way of making it a play on. I'm assuming that Nintendo was trying to make a comedy scenario out of it, because get it, they're evil, but they have a halo and wings, like little, you know, like the good angels or good spirits. And so now I'm a little bit more confused, because once they pass away, they become spirits, and spirits are Poes. The fact that they have a halo and wings makes absolutely no sense to me, but I digress. Nintendo never really made sense. They kept the core lore, but then they also added like little things that none of us will ever understand at this point. And y'all, we are still in Ocarina of Time. Nothing's changed, because now I need to address one more character, and this guy is the merchant or Poe collector. I am not sure what he goes by. It must be from my lack of memory. I'm sure he has an actual name. To me, I call them the merchant, but he's also a collector, so he does both. When it comes to that character, he's kind of a mysterious character, because he has like a cover over his head, and you only see one glowing eye, which kind of reminds me of Shadow Temple's boss, and he's just mysteriously sitting there and purchasing Poe spirits. Now, why does he purchase the Poe spirits? No one knows. He seems very fascinated by them, which makes him technically a collector, but he also buys them from you, so that also makes him, sorry, my cat, but so that also makes him a merchant. So I'm not quite sure if he's supposed to be a Poe, or if he is just a Hylian, or maybe that guard that used to hang out in that tower, because there was a guard that was there, and maybe he decided to collect Poes after the entire collapse of Hyrule. Or if it's not him, maybe it's him, but he died and became a Poe. You see what I mean? There's so many theories. No one knows, like, who is this mysterious merchant? Now we can finally move on to Majora's Mask. In Majora's Mask, you have Garo. So the official definition of Garo is that they were ninjas that were also spies, and they used to spy on Ikana Canyon on behalf of the Garo Master. And years later, when Ikana Canyon collapsed, the Ikana Kingdom collapsed as well. The Garos eventually passes away, and they've become husks in a sense, where it's just this, it's not even the spirit, it's like the empty shell of what used to be the ninja spy, if that makes sense. So to me, I'm not understanding what they mean by that. Like, are they physically, like, their body stayed the same, and they just, like, did their body stay the same and they're just like husks moving around? But since they passed away, it's a ghost, right? So they may still have their physical shell, but because they are dead and their spirit's still around and pretty vengeful, that would make them a Poe, right? But then if a Poe is inside a vessel, wouldn't that mean they're still alive? Nintendo's doing it again, because I'm like, I'm trying to understand and it's not making sense to me. And now I wanted to go touch up on Twilight Princess, but before that, I really want to discuss the Poes from Tears of the Kingdom. I know it's a different timeline, but I feel like it's stuck in my head, okay? I just have to go through them. So the Poes in Tears of the Kingdom, once you go to the underworld, for those who have played, if you have not played, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's considered a spoiler, I don't think so. But if you go to the underworld, there are Poes all over the place, okay? And these Poes are, actually, I think you can still see them in the new Hyrule Warriors as well, because you do play a lot in the underworld and you'll see a lot of those Poes. They are technically just like little floating spirits, just like chilling all over the place. And when you collect them, it kind of goes to a bank. For example, like if I see like 30 of them and I collect them all, it'll say that I have like 30 Poes with me. And once you capture those, or basically just loot them, they're like items instead of haunting spirit monsters that attack you. And when you take them to this one rock that trades you for items, it's got me thinking. So Poes are now, like, I know, like with the merchant, if you kill a big Poe or Poes and you bring him the spirit, it's technically a transaction. But these are just like the spirits lying all over the place, and you're making transactions with the rock, which also makes no sense to me. So I guess Poes are now like a residual spirit energy / currency. Currency, yes. Let's just leave it at that. It's very strange. Now we can go back to the scary Poes, because now we have Twilight Princess, and oh boy, those Poes are something else, okay? In Twilight Princess, at some point, you find these little, they're not that small, but they're Poes that you might need to attack them anyways, because you'll have to collect their spirits in order to do another side quest that has to do with a guy who turned completely into gold. But the Poes that you find there, they look like Skull Kids. And if you take Skull Kid, right, and give him a scythe like Death or the Reaper, give him a giant scythe, right, and have him chase you around at ridiculous speed and give you like literal heart attack. And that is what the Poes are in Twilight Princess. It is ridiculous how scary they are. They make my heart race. I hate them. And it doesn't help the fact that you have to be, when you're Wolf Link and you have to be using your senses, and your senses is like very, like, makes the whole scene dark and scary, and then you see those things. I don't like that, okay? And I already thought that was very scary enough. Twilight Princess in general is a very scary game, and I could talk about that in another video soon in the future, because that is literally a horror game. You cannot convince me otherwise. Now you have those Poes, right, and you think can't get any worse than that. This is scary until you go to Arbiter's Ground and you get chased by these literal Grim Reapers. Okay, when you have a deadline, like you have a limited amount of time to go from point A to point B, and you have these freaking Grim Reapers chasing you. And now, getting away from that nightmare fuel to one that's a little bit more on the lighter side, we have the Wind Waker, which is a different timeline again. This time in the Wind Waker, you have Jalhala and his ghostly minions. And Jalhala's little minions, okay, you kind of look at them and you're like, oh, they're kind of cute, you know, like they're just like little things wearing masks, and they're made out of like fabric, very colorful fabric, adorable. However, Jalhala comes in and he's just like this giant goofy blanket pillowcase. I don't even know what to call him. Like, he's just there, very goofy looking, okay? And he's a Poe, right? And I think he's also a boss. It's very interesting because Poes went from like kind of scary. As long as you bother them, then they're scary. If you don't bother them, they're not that scary. To this like freaking nightmare of a creature in Arbiter Grounds, and that other nightmare of a creature child, okay, in the forests. And then we kind of go back to something more appeasing. I like Jalhala personally. I think he was a very fun boss. I enjoyed him. Fighting him was a bit annoying, especially if you're like me and you're not really good at controls. Yeah, it was a little bit of a struggle, but I will say he's more on the funner side of the Poes. His Poe design is it's very colorful, I think, which is always nice to see, but he won't hit the same way that the Poe sisters in Ocarina of Time did. They probably have the best designs I've ever witnessed in all of the Legend of Zelda series. One, because even though they're all 4 different colors, they also have 4 different personalities. Like the purple one is probably the oldest sister. And then you have like the 3 younger sisters who kind of like do things in a similar way. But then you have like the eldest one there's some speculation that she does cry when you defeat all her 3 siblings and she's the last one around. Apparently she cries. I haven't seen that. I try to see it whenever I play the game and I still haven't seen it, but apparently she cries and she's very sad about it, and then she fights you, and then, you know, you defeat her. After all this Poe talk, the question still remains, what are Poes? And so far, we have not gotten an actual distinct answer, because Poes can be anything at this point. They could be a transaction, they can be some restless spirit, it can be a nice spirit that wants to help, it can be just these evil floating children with a giant Grim Reaper weapon, it could be the Grim Reaper himself, you know, or just like these pillowcases chasing you around. So we don't really know what Poes are. We can say that they're ghosts or spirits, but that's as far as it goes. That's all we know. Like, anything else is what kind of spirits, what causes a Poe to be a Poe, who knows. But anyways, if you guys do know any theories on what a Poe could be, or if you have any theories, please do let me know in the comments. If you have any other suggestions for videos, also let me know in the comments. If you have a particular design of Poes that you like, also let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for listening to this video and also watching this drawing in the background. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!